Hello, beautiful soul, I'm Leo and welcome back to Mystic Twinflame Tarot Psychic. Someone sees you as a missed opportunity. This is how they truly think of you. How the image of you lives in their mind day after day. They feel they were foolish when it came to you. That they didn't handle things the right way. That they fumbled something precious. This person constantly wonders what went wrong. The Seven of Pentacles reveals them standing in that spiritual garden of retrospection, looking back over what was, replaying every conversation, every moment, every decision like scenes from a film they can't stop watching. They're asking themselves over and over, could I have done something differently? Could I have said something that would have changed the outcome? Was there a moment I could have salvaged this? There's a past life connection here that's becoming impossible for them to ignore. It's rising to the surface of their consciousness now, demanding attention. They think about you constantly, about what was said between you, what was done, what wasn't done, and they're haunted by missed chances. You represent something they believe could have fundamentally improved their life, made things easier, more fulfilling, more complete. You were the feminine energy they desperately needed but didn't know how to receive, didn't know how to hold space for. What you may not have understood about this person is that deep down, beneath whatever confidence they project to the world, they consider themselves a little lost, rough around the edges. They feel like they're stumbling through life without a clear map. They saw you as a good role model, someone with clarity and wisdom, someone who had figured things out in ways they hadn't. When they felt off track, and they felt off track often, your words had this miraculous power to restore their confidence, to make them feel capable of facing the world and all its challenges. You would say something simple, something you probably didn't think twice about, and it would anchor them. They came to rely on you for that guidance, for that grounding presence. The Seven of Cups shows that without you, this person feels confused and directionless, like they're standing at a crossroads with 7 different paths and no compass. They're looking at all their options for moving forward, examining every possibility, but they're completely unsure which way to turn. And they keep thinking about who could have helped them think things through, who could have brought clarity to this confusion. You, always you. The message coming through is achingly clear. I miss you so much that it hurts. This isn't casual missing. This is the kind of longing that sits heavy in the chest, that wakes them up in the middle of the night. They miss you deeply and profoundly because you brought nothing but goodness into their life. You were assistance personified, support made flesh, improvement incarnate. Their days were genuinely better simply because you existed in their world, because you spoke with them, because you shared your energy with them. You were helping this person mature, actively participating in their evolution, guiding them to transition into a better version of themselves. You were walking them along their path like a spiritual guide who appears exactly when someone needs direction. You were so effective at this because you have an extraordinary gift for navigating emotions, not just your own but others as well. You read people. You understand the human heart. You could have easily been a counselor, a psychologist, a therapist, someone who sits in sacred spaces offering divine wisdom. That's your calling, your soul's purpose. So when this person came to you with their burdens, laying their struggles at your feet, you were nothing but a blessing to them, because that's what you do naturally. It's who you are at your core. You were a good role model, a trusted friend, wise counsel. You helped him wade through emotional waters that he'd never been able to navigate before, waters he'd been drowning in for years. The Page of Pentacles reveals something deeply vulnerable about this person's inner world. They never felt they had enough to offer you. Can you imagine that? Here they were, receiving all this wisdom and support and feminine energy from you, and underneath it all, they often felt inadequate. They felt unable to give you the life they believed you deserved, based on what you brought to the table. They would think, I wish I could do more for her. I wish I had more to give. I wish I could match her energy. But despite their feelings of inadequacy, you brought such unexpected joy into their life. Joy they never anticipated, never thought would be theirs to experience. Before you entered their world, the Knight of Wands shows this person moving restlessly from woman to woman, never settling, never connecting deeply, not knowing what they were truly searching for. They were, quite honestly, uncommitted and wayward, moving through relationships like someone passing through train stations, never staying long enough to call any place home. Long-term relationships weren't in their pattern. They were engaging in short-term connections, fleeting intimacies, 2 months here, 3 months there, just having a good time without any real depth or commitment or intention. Now, looking back with the clarity that only hindsight brings, they have massive regrets about you. They're looking back at their past, knowing where they came from, random connections that meant nothing, karmic entanglements that taught painful lessons, surface-level interactions that never touched their soul. They didn't have a genuine divine feminine presence in their life. They didn't have someone real, someone rare. So now they feel it's too late, that the window of opportunity has closed. They had the chance to be with someone authentic, someone who made them feel comfortable and genuinely seen, and they let it slip through their fingers like water. This person still struggles with confidence in certain fundamental areas of their life. They're trying to figure out how to take their work to the next level, how to move forward in their career, how to make things right with family members, how to step into their role as a provider, how to be a better partner. It's like they're standing at the edge of their potential, but don't know how to leap. But when you were in their life, you made them feel like they actually had a chance, like they had hope. You made them believe they could be the person they aspired to be, that the vision they had for themselves wasn't just a fantasy. You turned their house, their life, their mind into a place of faith. Before you, there was doubt and confusion. You brought belief. They started believing in themselves in ways they never had before, thinking perhaps they could actually succeed, that maybe they weren't the complete failure they sometimes feared they were. You gave them faith, real, tangible, transformative faith. They began to believe in the possibility of leaving a legacy, something meaningful for their children, for their family, even for you. They started dreaming bigger dreams. The Ten of Pentacles energy shows us that this person never previously thought they could leave a meaningful legacy. That concept felt foreign to them, out of reach. There's a sense here that they may have inherited something from their father, resources, a business, property, but interestingly, their father's strength actually disempowered them rather than building them up. This is a phenomenon that occurs sometimes when someone comes from a very strong lineage. If they didn't learn how to cultivate their own independent strength, they end up feeling perpetually inadequate. They think, I could never do it like my father did. I could never measure up. This person struggled with tremendous self-doubt despite coming from a family with resources and wisdom to share. You made them feel like they could rise to that level, like they could step into their own power. Despite having a business, despite having things going for themselves, they felt like a fraud in their own life, like they were playing a role but not truly embodying it. They thought if people really knew me, they'd know I don't have it all figured out. But when they were with you, they felt alive in a way that was completely new. You were the first woman to truly touch their heart in a very long time. Perhaps the first ever to reach that deep place within them. You became like an inner compass, a North Star. They felt they knew what to do next when it came to you, that they had direction and purpose when you were near. The Eight of Wands shows us the incredible power of your conversations, the things you spoke about, the knowledge you shared, the wisdom that flowed from you so naturally. It gave them purpose. It gave them something to reach for. You made them feel valuable and seen in ways no one else ever had. There's something very specific coming through about phone conversations here. This person absolutely loved talking with you on the phone. Those conversations were sacred to them, something they looked forward to, something that nourished them. Justice and the feminine cards reveal that you represented divine balance and fairness in their life. You were goddess energy personified, the embodiment of divine feminine wisdom. You made them feel truly seen for the first time in their life, like someone finally recognized the light within them that they themselves couldn't see. Their desire for righteousness and balance, their potential for goodness. They looked at themselves as rough and unpolished. But you saw potential. You saw beneath the surface. You believed a king was hiding within them, something special and worthy that others walked right past without noticing. You looked at them with compassion and were able to see their whole story, not just their mistakes and rough edges, all the good beneath the surface, the intention behind the struggle. You saw in this person what they absolutely could not see in themselves. That's a rare and precious gift. And truthfully, the cards show that they feel somewhat codependent now, almost hobbled without your presence. They feel weakened without you in their life, incomplete. Like everything isn't quite right without your energy balancing theirs. The message, "I was afraid you would reject me if I shared my feelings," comes through strongly. This person is still holding something back, still carrying words they never said, feelings they never fully expressed. The Four of Swords shows them still laying in contemplation, still processing, stuck on you, meditating on what was and what could have been, unable to move forward completely. But what actually happened between you? Because this is not someone who can get you off their mind. You're constantly there, an ever-present thought. The Eight of Wands shows they still desperately want to talk to you, and they're still talking about you to others, still bringing your name up in conversation, still measuring their experiences against the standard you set. But here's what's actually stopping them from reaching out. They're absolutely terrified that you've blocked them. They haven't called or texted because they cannot bear the thought of finding out you're no longer available to them emotionally. They couldn't handle the crushing disappointment if the call went straight to voicemail, if you changed your number, if the connection had been completely severed. That level of rejection would devastate them. So they protect themselves by not trying at all. It's safer to wonder than to know for certain that the door is closed. So they want to reach out desperately, but fear completely paralyzes them. Meanwhile, your energy weighs heavily on their heart, mind, and soul every single day. They can't stop comparing everyone else to you. Every woman they meet gets measured against what you gave them, and no one measures up. They're thinking about you constantly, wondering about you, curious about how you're doing, what you're feeling, whether you ever think of them. They can't let it go because you were that nurturing, that kind, that irreplaceable. The Queen of Cups energy shows you were someone who truly showed up for them emotionally and spiritually. You gave them a foundation when they were floating, helped them believe in life when they were cynical, offered them hope when they were despairing. You were like their angel, their embodiment of faith, compassion, and empathy walking around in human form. You taught them how to love themselves, which then enabled them to love others better. And now, with the benefit of hindsight and absence, they recognize something crucial. You were wife material. You were the kind of woman someone builds a life with, someone they marry and cherish. You are the kind of woman who makes life vibrant and worth living. They see now, too late, they fear that they could have built a genuinely good life with you. And I'm not talking just about finances or material success here. I'm talking about the things that truly make life rich. Meaningful conversation that nourishes the soul, sensual connection that makes the body feel alive, emotional intimacy that makes vulnerability safe, joy that bubbles up spontaneously. The things that make life worth waking up for each morning. They mourn you. This is genuine grief. They mourn the celebration you could have been in their life, the goodness you embodied, the feminine energy they know you could have brought to their days and nights. They're mourning what you could have had together, the life you could have built, the memories you could have made, the love you could have shared. But what actually happened? The Five of Wands shows there was a fight, an argument, a significant falling out. There was conflict, disagreement, two people seeing the same situation from completely different perspectives. The Queen of Wands reveals that you became protective of yourself and your energy. You started to recognize recklessness in their behavior, emotional recklessness, perhaps financial recklessness, and you shifted into self-protection mode. This is your survival instinct, your wisdom kicking in. You began to hold certain things back, creating boundaries, unable to share everything anymore because you sensed they wouldn't understand, couldn't hold space for your full truth. This person looked at you as an amazing opportunity, someone beautiful and wise who made them love themselves, who reflected back their best potential. But as you got closer, as the relationship deepened and you could see them more clearly, you started to realize something important. They weren't as spiritually ascended as you are. They weren't as emotionally developed. They hadn't done the inner work you'd done. That's when you knew you had to take care of yourself first. You see, they only saw the part of you that was nurturing them, supporting them, building them up. But there's also the part of you that protects yourself, that recognizes when someone isn't ready for your full depth, that knows when you need to pull back to preserve your own peace. They were falling deeply in love with you because you helped them grow tremendously, perhaps taking them from an emotional and spiritual level 7 to a level 9. That's significant growth, and they felt it. But here's what they didn't realize. You were operating at a level 12 or 13. You were so far ahead that you could guide them upward while still knowing they couldn't reach where you actually were. You helped them rise, which they experienced as transformative. But you began to feel they couldn't handle where you truly were. Your depth, your insights, your spiritual understanding, your emotional complexity. So you started pulling back, and they felt it but didn't fully understand it. You stopped taking as many of their calls. You stopped answering intimate questions that felt like they were pulling too much from you. When they asked you out, you started declining, saying you preferred to stay in. You were taking control of your destiny again, your future, asking yourself crucial questions. Do I really want this? Do I want to be entangled with someone who's still doing the things they're doing? Where is this relationship taking me? You started thinking practically, especially about finances. You recognized their uncertainty, their lack of solid foundation in certain areas. You thought, I have something to lose here. I've built something. I've worked hard. I've saved. I've created security for myself. He's still struggling to find his footing. The same wisdom, planning, and faith you so generously shared with them, you use those gifts every single day to navigate your own life. That's not just encouragement you offer others when you're feeling generous. That's literally how you operate, your default mode of being. You started asking yourself if you were being wise and sensible in this connection, because you could clearly see they still had a long way to go in their development. You pulled back intentionally when you realized they were becoming codependent, leaning on you too heavily, asking overly personal questions, trying to know everything about you, attempting to lock you in from a place of neediness rather than wholeness. You started feeling like a resource they were mining rather than a person they were loving. You were making them better and better, but you had to ask yourself, what about me? What do I actually gain from this? What's in this for my growth, my peace, my future? This questioning became stressful for you. You spent time alone, quality time with yourself, really thinking about the next steps, contemplating the next phase of this connection. You have genuine feelings for this person. There's definitely an emotional connection here. The cards don't lie about that, but you had to decide what was truly best for you, what served your highest good. You reviewed your options with brutal honesty. You asked yourself what they could actually bring to the table beyond needing you. Could they manifest the things you encouraged them toward? Could they actually execute on the advice you gave them? You weren't certain because you kept seeing immaturity, the Page of Cups. That immaturity, that emotional adolescence caused you to pull back for your own protection. This person knows something fundamental shifted between you. They're hardworking. We're not going to minimize that, but they recognize the change, the cooling, the distance. They still have deep passion for you. They still want to become the King of Wands in your life, the protector, the passionate one. the person you call on when you need strength. They know you've already achieved a certain level of success and strength on your own, and they're uncertain about what to do next, how to approach you, whether they even should. They see your strength clearly now, perhaps more clearly than when you were together, and you still have a powerful hold on them. But they're nervous, anxious even, because they sense you're not as invested as you once were. They can feel the shift in your energy toward them. The Eight of Cups shows a decision is coming. Someone is walking toward a resolution, toward closure or a new chapter. The Queen of Swords and Page of Pentacles reveal something crucial. You are the one who will deliver the verdict. The decision rests entirely with you. You hold all the power here. You will be the one to determine what happens next, whether this connection continues in any form or whether it ends completely. For them, the High Priestess with the Five of Swords shows they still have love for you that hasn't diminished. The world and the star indicate that when all is said and done, you will always wish them well. You're not a bitter or vindictive person. You'll always hope they're thriving and making progress, living their best life. But there are things you'll keep to yourself, secrets you'll never share with them, walls you'll never let down again, because you were genuinely concerned about potential betrayal down the line. You worried about something very specific. If I'm leveling him up, raising him to my level or beyond, will he appreciate it in the end? Will he honor what I gave him? Will he stand by me, or will he leave me behind once he reaches the level I'm at? You've seen this pattern before, maybe not in your own life, but in the lives of women around you. You've seen women build men up only to watch those men leave them for someone else once they've achieved success. You didn't trust the process of elevating someone who might become your competitor, your rival, or worse, someone who would abandon you after benefiting from everything you poured into them. You're not in the business of raising men who might betray you. This isn't your calling, your purpose, your ministry. Until someone can stand on their own 2 feet independently, until you're not risking that kind of profound heartbreak and betrayal, you protect yourself. So you stepped back. It was an act of self-love and self-preservation, but you do wish them well. Your heart is kind even when your boundaries are firm. How will they handle your withdrawal? The Ten of Swords and King of Swords show they'll try desperately to hide how deeply it hurts them. They won't let you see the pain, the devastation. They'll put on a stoic front, a strong face, acting unbothered and unmoved. But inside, in the privacy of their own heart and mind, they'll be absolutely heartbroken. This will cut them deeper than almost anything else in their life. They're not reaching out now because they're terrified of your absence, and emotionally you've already stepped back. They can feel it. Losing you completely will be a profound loss for them, even though they'll never show it to you or perhaps anyone else. And here's the difficult truth that the cards reveal. Would this person have eventually betrayed you if they'd risen to success with your help? The Eight of Cups and Temperance with the Empress suggest they likely would have. They would have alchemized all the energy you invested, all the wisdom you shared, all the confidence you built in them, transforming it into their own personal victory. And then this is the painful part. They probably would have pursued a different type of woman, someone they felt they had to impress with their newfound success, someone they could peacock for, showing off all the growth and gifts and elevated status that you helped them achieve. They would have taken your lessons and used them to win someone else. Your intuition was protecting you from a heartbreak you couldn't fully see yet. Your inner knowing, that spiritual discernment, was guiding you away from a situation that would have ultimately hurt you deeply. Sometimes we're guided away from people, not because they're bad people, but because the role we would play in their life would ultimately not serve us. You would have been the stepping stone, the catalyst, the transformer, and then been left behind for the next chapter you made possible for them. Your wisdom saved you from that pain. If this message resonates deeply with you, if it's speaking to your situation and touching your heart, please take a moment to like and subscribe. Share this reading with someone in your life who needs this clarity and validation today. And don't forget to hit the bell icon so you never miss a message from Mystic Twinflame Tarot Psychic. Blessings and light to you, beautiful soul. Trust your intuition. It has always been guiding you perfectly.